Welcome, everyone, to this special segment of Hanging Out for a Living. Today, we're privileged to have with us Dr. Jeffrey Gates. He's the Senior Vice President of Enrollment and Marketing at Stetson University. So, with a sterling track record that spans over 2 decades in enrollment management, Jeff has been instrumental in sculpting the academic landscape at institutions like Utica University. From shattering enrollment records and enhancing student satisfaction to fostering diversity and merging pivotal academic departments, Jeff's initiatives have continually championed the essence of holistic education. Jeff, welcome to Hanging Out for a Living. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here, and Teresa, with that introduction, I feel a little bit more obligated to share more than I may have prepared today. But no, thank you so much, and it's been great to talk with you over the years, and thank you for obviously all the support that you've given to higher education and to our endeavors.
Oh, thank you for those kind words, Jeff. I've so enjoyed working with your team and you over the years, and I've really been looking forward to this time together. So let's
Yeah,
dive right in.
sure.
Jeff, you've seen some rather transformative changes in the enrollment management area over the last 20 years or so. Could you share the most significant evolution or trend, if you will, that you've witnessed in this domain and how you've adapted to it?
Yeah, I think as I think about this question, there are a couple of things. One is certainly pricing strategy, and of course that may be near and dear to me because of the really successful tuition reset that Utica was able to accomplish in my time there, and we went through a really lengthy process to get to that point. We studied our institution, we studied our competition, we studied our students, we studied our families for 18 months. And so we really knew, the institution, who our students were, who our competitors were, and at that point, what the landscape was looking for students who were choosing an institution like Utica. And so while there's a lot of research that's out there now about tuition resets, and I've been on a lot of panels and a lot of conferences, and so some institutions will try this as a tactic or as a marketing ploy, and that's not what works. It really needs to be one piece of an overall strategy for an institution. So you can't just change price and everything's going to be better. And so before we even changed the price at Utica and reset, we didn't just reset the price, we reset the way we were completely doing business. And so before we did that, we enrolled, our second largest class ever. So some people say, well, Jeff, why did you even do it then? Right. Just it was in the DNA at Utica that we knew that for, if we looked out 20 years, what our costs would have been, that's not the institution that Utica wanted to be. And so for a variety of reasons, the data showed, it was the right thing to do. We thought as a leadership team, it was the right thing to do. And it really worked out well and continues to work out well for Utica. So I think pricing strategies, by and large, is one thing that's been really transformative. Whether it's a reset of big dollars, little dollars,
Sure. Yeah.
increases in discount, right, across our sector, including the publics.
Yeah.
Including the public sector, who is discounting and giving scholarships, which is. That may have always happened, but it's really happening on a broader scale now. So I think pricing strategies, Teresa, is certainly the number one thing that I would see as an evolution, for sure.
Absolutely. And then that's a really great segue into our second question. So
Yeah.
during your tenure at Utica, one of your notable achievements was the creation of the Dean for Diversity position. Could you
Yeah.
shed some light on the importance of this role and how it has furthered inclusivity and diversity in higher education?
Yeah, sure. That's a really great question, and I think it's certainly timely, especially as some of my colleagues have said, I can't believe you're in Florida as a staunch diversity advocate, that we know you to be. So thanks for the question. And I didn't set you up for this one either. So
No.
I doubly appreciate it because it is something that is near and dear to me. And so, you know, when the former president at Utica, 2 presidents ago now,
Okay.
Dr. Hutton asked if I would consider taking on the vice president of student affairs in addition to the VP of enrollment and creating one unit. You know, one of the things I had shared with the team was that, you know, when I came to Utica, we were very diverse in terms of an incoming class. You know, 32 to 36% of the incoming class was from a diverse background. And so it was really organic. The city of Utica is very diverse, you know, more than 30 languages spoken in the local high school. And so we had really great opportunities to create
Sure.
diverse experiences for our students, but no one was in charge of diversity, not in enrollment, not in student life, you know, nowhere across the campus. And it was his vision that everyone is everyone's responsibility. Well, in my the way I operate, the way I manage, if it's everyone's responsibility, then we're probably missing the boat somewhere. So
Mhm.
so I said to him, I would do this role if I could have a dual dean structure. I would really wanted a dean for diversity, and I also wanted a dean of students, and I wanted that person
Sure.
to be two different people, so that we could really have a home and a safe space for students from diverse backgrounds, and that included all forms of diversity, right? Not just our students from multicultural students, but it was students from all forms of diversity. And so he agreed to that, and we really, you know, created that position, and it flourished. And of course, today that position has elevated to the vice president level, which I'm very proud of, and glad
Excellent.
that the university has taken what we started and really elevated that. Dr. Anthony Baird is there at Utica now as the VP in that role, and is doing some really great work. So I do have to mention that since I'm in Florida, people are like, wait a minute, right? LGBTQ
Yeah.
issues in Florida, diversity issues.
Sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
and that's what people are reading, right? That's what people are hearing. But I will say
Exactly.
that's for the public institutions, right? At a private institution, right? We have our own ways of doing things, right? And so
Absolutely.
we have wonderful support for students at Stetson specifically. We just had a ribbon cutting after convocation last week for our cross cultural center, which is a home for all diversity initiatives across campus. We have a brand new director, you know, and so I walked into that space and I was just so excited to be on a campus that values the diversity, that's providing support and a whole physical space. It's an old mansion, really, is what it is.
Mm.
It's beautiful space for students from all diverse backgrounds, and so I'm super excited to see where we go at Stetson with diversity because, as I've said, this is near and dear to my heart.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to continuing to watch you as you continue grow in your role and bring Stetson to the next level. And
Yeah,
which then also takes me into my next question.
yeah, sure.
Um, Collaboration between faculty and administrative departments seem to be the hallmark of your leadership approach. And you talked a little bit about that in our earlier question. So, can you discuss the challenges and rewards of such collaborations, especially when you're merging the enrollment management and student affairs division?
Yeah, so you know, we were really successful at Utica in doing this, and my
Mhm.
position was somewhat unique in that as the senior VP and an officer of the university, I sat on all cabinets. So I was on academic cabinet, I was on the president's cabinet, I was on a senior leadership team. I
Sure.
went to faculty senate meetings, and so there was a physical presence for me to be involved in all those groups, but it was also sharing enrollment data, student satisfaction data, talking about our surveys, and really asking, you know, how can we collectively come together and help as a group? And so I think just by being open and being honest and by sharing the data and just being transparent and willing to have the conversation moved mountains. It really did. And so that was the collaborative approach that I took at Utica that I'm certainly bringing to Stetson. I'm not on the academic cabinet at Stetson. However, you know, our leadership team is talking with them. I'm actually meeting with the chair of the faculty senate later today, 1 o'clock, as an example, to talk about how Stetson become even more transfer friendly than we already are, right? So how can we pick one area that seems to be a potential trouble spot for us,
Sure.
and work together to move it forward. And if you take specific actions or specific programs and show the success of what you can do, then I think that builds rapport, it builds trust, and it builds collaboration. And then when the next idea comes around, whether it's a new academic program or whether it's a new service that we want to provide for students for academic success, then let's think about it and move it forward. But really, for me, Teresa, it's all about being collaborative, being transparent, and sharing the data. And people will always say, we can create a story, and I can create stories all day long. That's the fun
Sure.
of marketing, right? That's
Yeah.
we say, what is the art and science of enrollment? Well, the art is sharing the story or creating the story that the data is telling us, which is the
Hmm.
science, right?
Right.
So if we can figure out how to blend those and bring people in together and then move our processes forward, that's where we win.
Absolutely. And I think you just shared the secret sauce for everybody in higher education marketing.
Yeah,
I don't know if I need to take this out. I might need
yeah.
to edit this one. Just
But as
kidding.
you wish, right? But yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I don't think there's, if there was a true secret sauce, right? We all
mhm,
would be, flying high and creating stuff all day long, and many of us are, but
absolutely.
there's a lot of work to do. And the other thing I think it's really important for us, whether you're in student affairs or whether you're in enrollment, wherever you are in higher ed, is you have to remember to keep students at the core. I mean, that is why that we do the work that we do, is
Exactly.
to provide transformative experiences for our students. And so if we can keep that at the core and put everything else around it, then I think we're doing really good work.
Absolutely. Great wisdom and advice there. Some really great golden nuggets. Hope people have taken notes or going back to this later. But
Sure.
so we'll round out with this last question.
Sure.
Stetson University recently saw the merger of enrollment management and university marketing.
Yeah.
So as you steer this new division, what are your top priorities and vision for the future, especially concerning admissions and student financial aid?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this opportunity. And there's a lot of conversation about websites and what should the main page be and what should it look like and who should the audience be and what about the intranet. And so we're having a lot of those conversations right
Sure.
now. But we also know, and this is something that I've been talking about for probably more than 20 years, and I'll be honest, something that I haven't done a good job at as an enrollment manager, but we all need to,
Yeah.
is to re-recruit the students to come back to our institutions every year. We must remind them why they came to us in the first place. And so for me, in bringing the entire, marketing unit, within enrollment, that is going to be something that we're going to work on. And I think that'll be something that's very different, moving forward, because we always say we're going to do it. Every consultant says we should do it. And it's
Yep.
just the thing that ends at the bottom of the list and you run out of time. And so for
Right.
me, I'm going to try to bring that to the top of the list, and really focus on reminding students why they came in the first place and that all the opportunities that are available to them. And let's face it, I have a senior in high school this year. He starts,
Okay.
September 7th is his first day of his senior year. And he started high school during COVID. And so maybe this is a
Awesome.
little bit more near and dear to me or closer to me.
Sure.
And he is our one and only. And so he struggled during the pandemic, right? And many students struggled during the pandemic academically. And so the students who we are getting today, right, are coming to us, many, not all, with
Right.
delayed learning or just, you know, they want to make friends and they didn't get to do that for a
Yeah,
couple of years. They weren't
that's
told no
true.
by their teachers for a couple of years, right? Like
Yeah.
this formative learning time in their you know teen years just didn't happen. And so we've got a lot of work to do there, but reminding
Right.
students why they're here, what they're learning, what their outcomes are going to be, and all the services and the support that we have for them to get to where they need to go, I think is really important. So I guess that's one of the most exciting things for me about bringing these two groups together is yes, on the enrollment side, but also we have so many other things to market, from our outcomes, our alumni, our athletics, the Division I spirit that it brings. So there's just a whole lot of opportunity that will certainly support enrollment, but will support retention and also our alumni and giving.
Absolutely. And I remember visiting with you many times at Utica, and I look forward to a road trip to Stetson, but
Please come.
during a New York winter, not during the summer. Love you, but
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we're going to close it out and say thank you so much for sharing your invaluable insights, Jeff. And it's really
Right.
evident that your passion for education and your innovative strategies have paved the way for numerous students to experience transformative academic journeys. For our audience members keen on connecting with Dr. Gates, you'll find his contact information in the video description below. So here's a golden opportunity to converse with one of the luminaries in this world of higher education. You don't want to miss out. So until next time, until we meet again, remember, it's not just about making a living, it's about making a difference. Hang out, reach out, and let's change the world together. Bye, everybody.
Bye.